Hello everyone, it's Keesje. Welcome back. Today I'm going to make a journal from my gel prints. I really like gel printing and I have quite a bit of papers accumulated by now, and yeah, what do you do with them all, right? So now I decided to make a journal out of it so that they're all together. There's two ways that I will go about it. So this is a bigger size. This is a 5x7. I could fold this in half and I would have a decent size page to work with, because once they're in the journal, I'm still going to add things to it. I'm going to work on it. I might trace it or add stamps or more stencils and a quote and all that kind of a thing. I will put these aside for now and concentrate on the smaller ones. The smaller ones are 3x5. So if I would fold this in half, I would have like a tiny little book. And I think that is a bit too small, although it is kind of cute and I might make a few like that. But for now, I'm going to show you how I connect these two and then make them in a book. For the smaller ones, I would pair them up so that I know that the color-wise is kind of the same in the page. And so I have quite a bit here that are stacked 2x2 so that I know which ones go together. I will connect these two first with regular masking tape. I have 1.5 inch wide masking tape here. I like the wider one for this purpose so that I have a little bit of a leeway on error. So very simple, I would place this on half like so, burnish it. I will turn it over and decide which way looks best. So I'm going to place this one here and I will butt this as best as I can against the previous paper and burnish. And of course you clip off the ends here. I can see this is not completely straight. I think this one is smaller. Doesn't matter. I will do this with all of them to connect them. Now for the largest ones, I also placed a piece of tape down the middle, because I found out that if you crease this and open it and crease and open it, it'll crack right in half. So it needs another support, so I've used masking tape to support the backs. So I've paired them all up, and now the next thing to do is add a line down the center. I made mine 2 7/8 wide, so I will draw a line 2 7/8 through the center. And I will do that with all of them. So as you can see, every back now has a line down the center. Now I'm going to determine how I'm going to have them in my book. So I want this one on the bottom, so I will put it aside over there. I'm not concerned yet about the order. I'm going to look at every one of them, and then I'm going to determine what is the bottom and what is the top. For some reason, I like the patterns to be on the bottom part. All right, now I'm going to apply double-sided tape on one side, as in the left or the right. So I'm going to apply glue on all the left sides. Double-sided tape, I mean. I don't want glue because glue might buckle everything. I don't like the look of that. So I'm going to add double-sided tape first along the edge of the center and then around. Burnish it down a bit. It is important. So I will do that with the rest. And so all the backs that I look at on this side will have double-sided tape. So I will be back when I've done all that. So half of them all have the double-sided tape attached to it. So in the end, I did mark the half that needed double-sided tape so that I didn't lose track of it. And so now I've got them all here. Now I'm going to decide if I'm going to leave the page as is or if I'm adding something to it. So for instance, here is I have some blue on here and not on here. So I might want to decide to add some blue on here also. So I will go through each page and see if I want to change something or add something that I can add now easier than if it was in a book. So if I want to use the gel plate again to add things, I will do it now. But stamps and stencils I could always use later when the book is attached. So I talked about maybe making a small journal with just one of these pages, and then I kept thinking maybe I should do that. So I cut some apart, and then I was thinking, what am I going to do on top of this? So I found these cards that are Dutch scenes. I thought, you know what? Perfect for a little journal like this. When you look at this and you want to place this on here, it doesn't really go together. So on my gel plate, I added white. Then I placed my netting on top and then carefully dabbed here and there to get that effect. But when it was dry, it was quite stark white. So then I made a wash with territorial beads from Apple Barrel. So I painted every page twice with the wash there. And of course now it's all curly and everything, but that's okay. So now it looks a lot better. You know, it goes with the vintage look of the cards. So I will make a little book with these ones, and then I will show you in the end also how that looks. So I finished gluing all the double-sided tape to the backs, and while I was doing that I thought, you know what, it's going to be very incohesive and what I'm going to do with it. And I did say that I was going to maybe draw around and do some stamping, and as you can see here I added that same texture as I showed you before in a smaller journal. I added some stamping here and there. Now I'm going to use these bird cards on one side and some writing space on the right side. And here I have some pages that I've done already, and I tried to do a few variations of the layout so that they all are a little bit different. And here comes Misty, checking out what I'm doing. So, and I do find it easier to work on a flat surface than instead of in a book. So I will be finishing all the pages and then I will be back. In preparation of gluing the pages together, I stacked my pages in the right order of attaching. The last page is going to be the first page, and the first page is going to be the last page. And I glued some together already because I had to figure out how it goes. So your paper has a glued side and a non-glued side. So obviously the glued side goes to the unglued side. And the last page will still have a glued side on it, and we'll use that for later. The only thing to do now is take the paper off and line them up. I will peek inside to make sure that the birds are on the same side. Line them up on the side and at the edge and press down and burnish. And I'm sure that not all pages will be exactly right on, but I can trim that later and then nobody's the wiser. I will come back when everything is together. I forgot to mention that I do like to add some liquid glue on top of the tape, because that way you have a little bit more leeway of moving it back and forth. And also after a few pages, I put them with the backs on the table so that they're all flush with at the folds. And then I will gently press them and see if everything is aligned. This way you have a little bit more control over everything before you press everything down. And this looks pretty good. A few more pages to go. I'm at the last page now. I want double-sided tape on here also so that I can add a front to it. And I think it's easier to do that now than once the book is together. So here are the pages together, and I already seen some pages that I need to trim. I will do that before I add the front and the back to it. So I'll just clip along the edge here and trim it, because it also has the double-sided glue on it, and then it will stick to the next page. So I've selected my covers, just another jelly print on a heavy card. So I'll be attaching them to the cover, and then I will use some fabric for the spine. So you saw me put this as a cover on, and I didn't like it. It didn't reflect what was going on inside. So I picked a new cover, and I will be putting this one on the back. So I forgot to tell you that if you want a closure with some string, then you would have to attach it now so that it's been trapped between the cover and the book. But I don't want to do that, so I'm just going to attach the cover as it is. Now I'm going to finish the spine. I have a piece of black jeans here that I'm going to attach over here. I will mark first. So I figured I'm going to overlap the jeans material. You can use any fabric, about 3/8 of an inch. So I'm going to mark a scant 3/8 of an inch. That way I know where to put the glue. I line it up with the edge, covering the pencil line. And here I will simply add glue to the edge of the book and the edge of the fabric. I don't want glue on the spine. So the reason I don't put glue on the spine is because if you open the page up anywhere, everything will lie flat, because this is flexible, and otherwise that would not happen. So the only thing that I'm going to do yet is adding a little piece of paper to the front here, make it a little smaller, and my book is finished. Now the little book I fastened with a little clip, and this is how that one looks. Also same closure. So this is one of the things that I do with my gel prints. And so these are the larger pages that I showed you in the beginning, and I would basically do the same thing. Place masking tape down the middle, find the center, and add double-sided tape on one of the sides, and then glue them back to back as I showed you in this smaller journal. So that was it for today. I hope this video was useful for you. Please share and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!